Oliver Pete.
40.
Two train drivers are being treated for shock tonight after smashing into a car abandoned on track south of Perth. The stolen four-wheel drive was dumped. The train drivers had no idea if someone was inside.
Impacted up to 80 k's an hour, there was no way the freight train could have stopped in time.
What they may have thought was a bit of fun is a very serious matter.
The Nissan Patrol was parked on the tracks with its lights on when it was hit head-on last night. The drivers had no idea if someone was inside.
But at the end of the day, they would have put all brakes on, and unfortunately there's no chance of stopping, and that's the shock to the driver. And as I say, they were just lucky it didn't cause them any sort of physical injury.
Police don't know whether the car got stuck or was deliberately dumped as a prank. It had been stolen on Saturday night. Trains were back up and running in the area near Naval Base this morning, but were slowed down to 40 k's an hour. The employer told us both of the drivers were shaken up by what had happened, but relieved to find out that there was no one in the car. Both of them have been given a couple of days off work.
That car could have blown up, and some serious injuries if anybody else was around that crossing at the time.
Workmen spent the morning fixing the railway crossing and putting in a new boom gate. Anyone with information should contact police. Scott Cunningham, 9 News.
A Perth dad caught doing 118 in a 70 zone with his children in the car says he didn't realise how fast he was going. The driver's 2 and 11-year-olds were in the back seat when he passed an unmarked police car.
He was caught doing 48 k's an hour over the speed limit on busy Hepburn Avenue. But Chris isn't your average hoon. He's a father of 2 and he had his kids in the car.
I feel bad having my kids in the car as well going that fast. You know, it's obviously taken, a toll on them. I could have had an accident. Obviously something bad could happen to the kids. In hindsight, I'm glad that this happened as a bit of a wake-up call.
It happened yesterday morning in Ballajura. Chris is so embarrassed he'd only talk to 9 News if we blurred his face.
Took a bit longer to sink in and, just explain to my family that, I was sorry because of all the effects that it has on them as well.
Chris told police the only reason he was speeding was to get his eldest daughter to school. He hadn't looked at his speedo and admits it may not be the first time he's driven that fast. The 30-year-old's car has been impounded. He says that's fair, and now he's got a message for other speeders.
Be wary that, these things can have serious consequences, and it's better, if you're aware of what speed you're going.
Alice Pooley, 9 News.
A post-mortem's being carried out on a Perth grandmother bitten by a snake in Fremantle. The 75-year-old died after she was bitten on the ankle while walking near South Beach on Saturday afternoon. The coroner is investigating whether a tiger snake or a dugite was responsible. It's the 5th death from a snake bite in 4 years in Von Jam.
There's an urgent manhunt underway tonight for a driver who crashed a stolen car into a family home. Witnesses saw him running from the scene and into a getaway car.
The damage is so serious, police were worried this Balga house would collapse. Witnesses say the Holden Commodore was speeding down Geraldton Avenue when it lost control. It smashed into a parked car before ploughing through the home's garage. The homeowner rushed from work to inspect the damage.
For someone to be going at a high speed in the 50k zone when it's near a school is terrible.
Tim drove past as the accident happened around 10:30 this morning.
I saw obviously the driver jump out of the car, do a run around the corner. My first instinct was to go over to the house, check if anyone was in the house, if anyone was in danger.
No one was inside at the time. Police say the car was stolen earlier in the day, the alleged driver running away before jumping into a waiting car. The young homeowners have lived here for 3 years. They say they are insured for the damage, but they were due to sell their home in the coming days. A close call too for residents of this Connolly home. A Toyota smashed through their lounge room last night after a minor accident with a van. The driver of the van was charged with drink driving. Mia Brankov, 9 News.
Police say it could be weeks before they work out what happened in a bizarre rear-end crash in Geraldton that killed 3 young friends and whether charges will be laid. Today, grieving friends begged WA drivers to consider others on the road.
3 friends killed: Michael Hook, Felicity Pallett and Cohen Cantwell. Dozens of floral tributes now lie at the blackened scene where the car they were in was rear-ended.
Everyone just stop and think before you hop in a car. Think it may not be you, it's everyone else that has to pay. And it's not only the person in the car, it's their family they pay.
It happened early yesterday morning on Chapman Road in Geraldton. Major crash detectives returned to the scene again just hours ago, investigating if the Holden Commodore had been on the side of the road when the Ford Futura hit it from behind. Police say the driver of the Ford Futura left the scene. Vision of this crash was captured on security cameras at a home directly across the road from here. Police have returned to the scene today to match up what they can see in that vision with what's happened here on the road.
They just don't deserve to die like this.
Michael's mum Diane, who'd only left Geraldton days ago, says, "My heart has been shattered. May you always rest in peace." The driver of the other car is still being questioned by police. In Geraldton, Rachel Carey, 9 News.